It's 7:04 on February 28th. We'll call the Community Preservation Committee meeting to order. First on the agenda is going over the final applications for fiscal year 24. Thank you so much for putting this together for us. So I think a lot of these we've gone through already. So first, the historical signs, that amount we have verified. So there was some changes on it last time. And for the interpretive signs, the very historical sites, that's starting at Island Grove. Next is the Island Grove Pavilion, $50,000, again, under historical. That's to repair the gazebo at the Island, or pavilion, not really gazebo, I guess, at Island Grove. Same thing, we've had the final application from that. The Affordable Housing Trust, $300,000 for the funding for the trust. I think we have a little bit of discussion on that we can get into after. Housing Trust Action Plan, the consultant to determine a 3 to 5 year strategic plan that would start this fall. Griffin's Dairy, same thing, we've had a final application from them. The replacement of the chain link fence around the community garden to fix that up. Open Space Plan, Open Space Committee is looking for $35,000 for a consultant to finally finalize the town's open space plan so we can move forward. Some options there. And the street hockey court, we have the amount was requested $200,000. I'm not sure if we've seen the final application for that. Yes.
They have not.
We have not.
I'll refer that.
Yeah,
Wonderful. So those are those, that's it in terms of that have come through that we've agreed to.
So far, yeah, so I don't know if, I don't want to speak on your
Yeah,
behalf. I don't
Yeah, I know like there was like the baseball fields, they decided not to.
Yeah,
then.
so they,
Okay.
they are
That was the
gonna
question.
hold off on
Okay.
that. Mainly to see about the well and potentially if they can get some good work done by maybe ARPA or other town funds.
Cool.
First, and then maybe coming back next year for the well, which would make sense if they're gonna be doing major field updates.
Yep.
To have a well, so that way they can actually grow what they're gonna be doing.
Awesome. And I think those are the only ones I had that were, okay, I think that makes sense. So if you like, we can open up, like to talk about street hockey court application.
Thank you very much, Anna. So yes, I do not have all my ducks in a row, and I don't have a final application in, and so I'm really just here, I didn't know if the board ever gave extensions or if the deadline gets pushed back, if that's a possibility. If not, I understand it's, statutory rules are rules and boards are boards. So that's what I'm here to see, whether there is any opportunity to get anything in still, or if I'm just kicked off till next year.
Kelly, when does this have to be, like, for a town meeting, for the warrant?
The vote would be on Tuesday, the 7th. So next Tuesday.
That's next Tuesday.
Well, you guys wouldn't,
Yes, exactly.
you guys wouldn't be reconvened by then, so it's unfair to the board to, I think at this point, I probably just have to kick it to next year. Because you guys wouldn't be able to be together and vote by then, so, okay.
I mean, if you had a final application and you could get it by Tuesday morning, could we maybe all get together Tuesday before board selection? Maybe, but would you have a space and all that by Tuesday? Like that?
There's so much up in the air that,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be a set space, so if it has to be firm, then definitely not.
We need like estimates.
Yeah, and that
Contractors, which would need a space, like
that I'd be able to do, like, I have the plan of what the kind of, the outline I want, and I have quotes coming in. It's just with the space, it's no way by
So
Tuesday.
could we do something like we did the land, like in the fall, like a special town meeting?
We could do it at a special town meeting.
So
And
there's
the
talk
other,
about that
the other piece
too.
of it is that I know that the Board of Selectmen talked at the last meeting about putting together an actual plan, like having someone come in and actually look at the space and figure out what could actually work on the Littlewoods Way, if that was a potential place for it. So it might not be the worst thing in the world to wait until that plan comes in from the Board of
That was one of the elements of
Yep.
like.
Yep.
So that's
So,
been
and that's
earmarked
not
for
gonna be-
recreation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but they want to have a study of like what fits where and how.
very good.
So knowing that an idea would be some basketball courts, a street hockey court, a couple of street hockey courts, like what will actually fit in that space ideally and how that works, whether they're multi-use courts or how that is. It might not be the worst thing if we can't get your stuff by like this fiscal year. I don't know, like I.
Well, if all
I
that
just don't
comes
know.
together, maybe we could do it in a.
Yeah,
In a
so
fall.
Okay.
Special town
so
meeting.
last year, at the special town meeting, one of the things was we had a project that we approved at that time.
Yeah.
To be voted on during the special town meeting, and there were some other things that had come up, and I think there's an idea of trying to fit everything into the spring, like winter, spring, try to rush it in for the April town meeting. There's an understanding that probably a special town meeting probably happen in the fall pretty often.
Okay,
And so if there's a lot of up in the air, like she said, it might make sense to actually just get those ducks as close to in a row as you can
Yeah.
get, as ducks can be. And then come, hopefully by fall, there's a better understanding
okay,
of where the town is.
Yeah.
Is there, especially if it's a town recreation,
yeah,
is there other grants you don't even have to touch CPA money? Like there might be other opportunities there
okay,
that are, not as obvious.
Yeah.
Because we need more concrete
Yeah.
things now
Right.
that it sounds like we wouldn't have by Tuesday, which is unfortunate. But
Yeah.
I think there's better potential. Now going forward compared to last year, it was very just like, oh.
yeah,
So I'm excited to see that happen.
okay. All right, well, I'm on board with that. So I'll kick it down the road, and if there's a special town meeting, things happen sooner. If not, it's just next fiscal year, and I'll probably be in the same boat next year. No, I'll get on it.
Ducks in a pond.
I'll get on it. I'm
Ready.
already working. I say that, so, yeah, okay. All right, thank you, guys.
Yeah.
All right, have a good one.
Yeah, I think now that the town is thinking, hey, recreation is now priority for that space, there's an opportunity there, instead of, let's give you funds, but there's no guarantee you could have it, like it just makes more sense, so. And if they could get other things. Hi. Hi, Liz.
Hi, so you guys are voting on your stuff tonight, right? So I'm here again, seems like I'm here all the time, throwing myself on your mercy. I sent you an application for the trail, right? The trail application funds.
The trails.
So have you heard about the trail?
No, but I'm very intrigued.
Okay, so we took $5,000 in opera money and we hired a consultant to apply for design funding for a trail that links the shared path from the high school out to Buckboard Broadmeadow. And then we'll enhance signage and maybe sidewalks and stuff, eventually get it all the way over to Ames Knoll. I'm not saying that's gonna happen all this year, but that's part of the big overall plan. I also don't know if you guys know about the shared street design
Yes.
on Washington Street. Okay, good. So now you can see some of that starting to meld together and up through here. And so the grant is gonna be $105,000. I'm sorry, the total project cost is $105 for the design. The grant we applied for will be $60,000. ARPA funding, we're gonna use $20,000 and we're asking you guys for $25,000.
Wow, okay.
What is the name of your project, I guess?
Not my name, it's the town manager's name,
Okay.
Green Wave Connector Trail Design.
Okay.
Oh, that's actually kind of cute.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
I did it first and then I'm like, now it's growing on me.
Yeah, green
Like,
wave
oh,
connectors,
come on.
like green waves of grass. Yeah,
Right.
I like it.
So now it's better, yes, it's absolutely growing on me. So that application is in, the grant application has been submitted, that's why I'm here asking for $25,000. Obviously out of your recreation pool of money.
What does that fall under?
Is it open space or recreation?
It could be either,
Yeah, maybe, and then technically in
actually a circle vote.
recreation and house or open space are in the same bucket.
Right.
So it could fall under either.
Do you happen to have a copy that you can just pass around of the application?
Oh, sure.
I'm sorry, Liz, I'm not.
That's okay.
I'll email it out tomorrow.
So I guess the first question, that qualifies, right? Is there any reason that wouldn't qualify?
I would imagine that it does. I mean, it seems like a pretty general situation.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was the whole reason for the special town project last year,
right.
and you're using other funds as well.
Mhm.
I want to look at this real quick.
No,
And
help
then we can
yourself,
do
and
the
I
vote.
mean, we've already used some proper money to pay for the consultant.
Mhm.
So, there's sort of our commitment to this project moving forward.
So I'm sure you have it on your, but I'll ask the question anyway. What is the timeline on that? I mean, obviously you won't be able to start until July 1st because
It says
that's the
proposed
funding.
timeline,
Right.
12 to 18 months once funded.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what is the grant? How long?
I think it's another 3 months on the grant, maybe not that long.
Oh,
We
wow.
had to have it in, we literally did it in 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was beautiful. They were beauty. That's because I didn't have to do the trail map.
Is there a trail map with this?
So we kind of did, well, the consultant did, not the trail map, but, don't tell me I don't have a copy of the grant in here. They did the,
It's not central, it would just be nice to see.
yeah,
Well, what is the route then? They'd be going through the woods, up to Broad Meadow, and then up Broad Meadow, down Hancock, down Presidential.
yes.
And like when you go up Broad Meadow, would it be turned into a bicycle lane on
So
Broad Meadow?
That's the next
Eventually-
phase, right?
Well, yes, not at this point, right? This will take you, this is just a design to take you to Broadmeadow. And then we would have to build it.
Yeah.
And then, so at that point, after it gets built, we'd probably be even looking for simultaneously or a year later, some white paint money to paint a bike trail. And then Kelly, were you at that meeting? We talked about signage on Hancock Street. It's very narrow. There was some concerns about the Hancock
The
Street
Hancock
piece of
Street,
it,
yeah.
because it's very narrow.
Right.
So I think what they were talking were like maybe just park signs like State Park,
Mm.
to lead them there, but we can't necessarily put a bike path on that road.
No.
But the signage would exist to get them to the bigger road and then
Yeah.
over to that. That's kind of the only hang up there.
I just like the connecting from that part of town to the high school, library, town offices, all that. There's already paths behind the track.
Right.
Having something that's,
Meant to be.
meant to be, with boardwalk and paths that are protecting the lands, like that's great to see.
And the town manager actually has sort of a master plan of that, that he's poking away. And then this all just sort of fell together very nicely with the purchase of the land last year, and now we can tie this whole campus area with that and encourage, kids to walk. The Board of Health is getting some grant funding to do some installation of, water bottle refill stations. It's late in the day.
Whoa.
The brain's kind of sluggish. So, yeah, we're thinking, one at the library, one at the pickleball court. That's his ballywick, but that was sort of the conversation we had.
I like it.
Yeah, all part of, no using plastic bottles and kind of,
Getting outside, yeah.
right? Keep moving in that direction, low hanging fruit, and somebody else will pay for it.
Yeah.
We have to pay for it to be connected, right? And then the grant pays for the station.
Yeah.
So,
So the first thing to vote is this project
I
eligible?
just,
Oh, good.
what's the trail gonna consist of? Probably,
Like the surfacing.
the trail itself is gonna be,
oh, it's a shared trail, so it'd be like paved, it'll be a walking, biking trail.
so like a 4-foot wide, 6-foot wide walking trail.
I think that's what
Okay, because
that's what the
what
design's
stopped us
for.
in the past was the cost of going through. So we're thinking for $105,000, we can get through
Just the design.
just the design.
That's the design. And we're gonna follow, there's a sewer line out there that got cleared 1,000 years ago, but if you look at an aerial photo, there's a path.
Yep.
Where the sewer line went in. So that's where we're gonna follow, right on top of that.
So the 105,000 is to design the trail, and then we'd still need money on top of that
To build it.
pave the trail.
Right. So you can imagine we'll be back for some of that, but again, we can apply for grant funding. It's
Right.
like it's
right, we're only paying 25,000 towards the design.
Right.
But is it just because it's marshy and it's connecting to different roads? Or is it because it's part of this larger, including like the bike path design?
It's, I think at the end of the day, we're trying to connect all the open space areas in town.
So this design would do the master plan of all of these things?
Well, this design is only gonna connect the high
Okay.
school campus, the town hall library campus to Buckboard, through the land that we
Okay.
purchased, through that
Is it
open
Buckboard or
space.
Broad Meadow?
Broadman, I don't know. Again, late in the day.
Okay, I'm asking these questions because I live in that neighborhood.
Yep.
Just, it's always been a concern about going through, that's a road going through,
There's no, well, it's no road, and what's gonna limit that are the wetlands,
right?
right? Because there
Which
are
has in the
wetlands out
past,
there.
right.
So I can actually show you this. That's when it went in with the application.
Yep.
And that literally follows the sewer line.
Okay.
So it is Broad Meadow.
And I think open space was looking at doing like a trail system within that. Because all this is town land now. So this would be the half through, but then this is still all, okay.
When you start looking at it with some of the DEP layers though, it's wet out there.
Yeah.
There are some areas of upland and dry, but I think this would be easy enough to do without,
And you can kind of see, like on the satellite image, like there's already kind of
I've
a
walked
line
through
over
many
there.
times.
Yeah.
why didn't you take a shot of it?
Start
Start
digging.
widening it a little?
I started putting lizards and turtles out there.
That's what it said. At least we can
I
do
could
that.
help you out with that. Thank you.
Okay. So I think the first vote is eligibility of this. If you agree that this is eligible for open space recreation, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Abstain? Great. And then, do you have anything else?
Oh, of course I
Okay.
do. So I want to make sure you guys got the revised numbers on the rest of my party pack for this year, which would be the open space and recreation plan.
Mhm.
All right, so that's going to be 35,000 plus the 10%. I wished I had news for you on whether we got the grant or not, but I do not. I was supposed to know by mid-February, and they have not reached out to me.
Sorry, Liz, you're adding a 10% on top of the.
That's what I think the last time I was here, that
Okay,
was
I
the
just wanted to make
suggestion,
sure.
yeah,
I updated that.
okay.
So on our, we would re-update that to 38,500.
Okay,
So we're aware.
It's just-
I used a calculator and I probably shouldn't have needed to, but I just don't trust myself right now. Like I said, I was just subbing all day, so.
hello, Buckwood or Broadmeadow.
I know, I just wanted to make sure we're all literally on the same page.
And then the bandstand, but that's okay, I think, that's, and the interpretive signs were okay.
Yep.
And Memorial Bridge, did you get that request for some matching funds?
That was a new one too, so I
Yeah.
don't know if you wanna.
My, oh my, where could it be? So anyway, the funding that you provided last year for consultant has borne fruit,
Okay.
and we can apply to the Historical Commission for a grant. So she has actually reviewed, so the study on the bridge got done last July. It's going to cost $1 million to fix the bridge. She has sort of broken this down into phases. So by she, I mean Melissa Pond, that's who the town engaged. And the first grant is from the State Historical Commission. That's just to keep it easy. And the total amount of the project is $100,000. And again, it's design, bridge design work. The grant from the State Historical Society is $30,000, and we're looking to you guys for 70. This obviously would be historical resources. I'm happy to give you the application. So that application is due March 17th. Yeah, look at that. And they want affirmation of the funding available. I think if you vote affirmatively on that, a warrant article would be sufficient, because it was last year.
Okay, cool.
I mean, if it's not, it's not, and we move on and hold the money till next year and rinse, wash, and repeat, right?
I like the gem. Is that going on one of the interpretive signs?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and on that note too, I am not sure if you guys are gonna move forward with that or not, but I met with the historical commission tonight. And I'm sort of handing off the wording and all of that to the experts, let's say. They plan on working with the Historical Society and Merlin at the Dyer, so.
We're handing it off.
To the Historical Society.
As far as like actual wording on the signs, like the internal.
So, yeah, they'll put together the stuff and then the sign company will put it together.
Yep.
But they're gonna do the information and the language and what they would like to see. And they're also gonna do the 4 other signs just about Island Road. Told them, whatever you want to do would be fabulous. And then, I can send you guys a copy. Watch me not have it now. But I found a actually give you a copy because I have extras. In the town clerk's office, it is a sightseeing tour of Abington.
Well.
Right. And there is a bike tour of Abington that is, the map is really faded. Wayne is gonna try to scan it and enhance it to make it better. But this has a whole bunch of historical sites on it that may be the map of where we continue to put historical signs moving forward as this phase project.
Yeah,
Right? It is.
a random side note, I know that the third graders do like Abington history. It might be worth like kind of putting this in the third grade teacher's hands. Be like, as you go with your information.
You can take
Total
that
side
and
note.
give that to them, right? I have a copy in my office, so
They
feel
do
free. Yep.
some of that stuff in the.
Yeah, it's really good. It sends you up in the 4 corners of the town, so. It's delightful. I'm not sure. There we go. So I think that's it for me. Just more money, more money, more money.
It's fine, I think we've got it, so. I think we started this a month or 2 ago, and we were like, man, we do not have a lot of projects in our hands. This always comes at the end, but it's exciting to see.
Yeah. So do you guys have any questions for me?
I think we're just waiting for Steve to look through this and then
Okay.
vote on it real quick. If you don't mind waiting just in case.
Not at all.
What questions? You read that? Oh, you started that one. I was last.
My only concern on the Island Road Bridge, you just said it was gonna be $1 million for the bridge?
In total, so the way that the consultant has broken the project up is, so this first 100,000 is for the design.
Yep.
And then 900 for construction, and then another 1,000 at the end of the rainbow for the approaches. So what I think we're gonna end up doing, if this is the path we decide to go on, is at the other end of the bridge, they're gonna remove one of the cement blocks and create a handicap path or an accessible path.
That's,
Yeah,
that's
which would be
so, like,
fabulous, right?
for strollers, it's like, people get there and they're like, I don't
Right.
know what to do.
For everything, it would be amazing. And I think we can get ADA money for that. So I'm not even sure we're gonna need
That extra.
the extra money. I think we can get up to $90,000 maybe,
Yeah.
was what she said.
Definitely won't down.
Yeah. So, that's,
So the $1 million thing, because I always thought or heard that it was gonna be more, a lot more.
Yeah.
So that means, that includes then the pillars being
No.
reinforced.
The pillars don't have to be touched, that's the whole point, it's just the top part that has to be replaced,
So
the
they've
pillars are
gone
in
and
good
they've
shape.
realized-
concrete
Yeah.
rebar. I'm happy to send you the report if you'd like.
I haven't read it, if you're interested. No lie.
That was the whole thing when they did the study, was that the pillars were in good shape, it was
Yep.
just the top. So I thought it was gonna be 1.5 or one,
Yep.
I think $1 million is actually very reasonable for,
I think a lot of people were stunned when it was so
particularly when
low.
it's over, protects waterway and all that, that's
Right.
actually pretty good.
You know, I'm
Guess you need some light reading.
because for years, all I've heard is the pillars weren't in
Right.
good shape. So
And it's-
now they are.
It's not
Nothing's
them
been
at
done,
all.
but now they're at.
Well, so that's why Mike Franny, right, was on it, because he's like, so people are saying 10 million, people are saying 20 million, let's get a real number.
Right.
So, and that right now is the real number.
We need a big one.
It's a huge site. You know how long I've had this thing?
So I think, we just looked at that, so I think we'd like to vote on the eligibility of the $70,000 towards the bridge design, for the Memorial Bridge to Island Grove. I'd like to get anyone who agrees with or supports eligibility. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone who opposes, abstains? Great, so that is eligible under historical bucket. Did I get, yeah, and then there was that was different, okay.
That was just for fun.
Yep, yeah, I want to make sure I'm keeping, because we were,
Right.
Oh, I got all my stuff back.
we were tangenting quite a bit,
Right.
so I just want to make sure I'm keeping track.
Liz, do you need this back?
I do not, that's for you to give to the third grade teacher.
Yeah.
I have extra copies, and I know where it came from, so. And so also, so you guys know, conservation meeting tonight, our friend is in there getting permission to kill weeds. So,
Right, we can put that forward, yeah,
Yeah.
we're supposed to start that like now, I thought,
so
yeah.
he's in there getting permission
Yay.
from conservation in April, I think he starts weed killing. So we're right on target for the plan for that. Yeah, so, anything else you need?
I think we probably talked about it last meeting. No,
Weed
Thank you so
killing,
much.
done?
lots of.
Thank you for the money. All right. See you at town meeting. Probably before that.
Probably before that.
You know, and again, I haven't seen this, and I'm on page 6, but already I'm reading Pier 6 orientation, 4.5 inches off. Recommendation, retrofit the concrete header beam to provide full bearing. I read page 7, beams are in poor condition, piers in fair condition. I see exposed rebar.
That's the decking, not from the pillars. The pillars.
The stuff, it's stuff in the water is okay, it might be above the water where the pier would go on needs to be fixed, but the stuff in the water where they would have to like block water and drench and all that does not need to be touched, and that's where it's
Okay.
millions
Okay,
just to
again,
talk to, yeah.
This is the water.
I think it's just the
It's some
top, I
light
think
reading.
it's like the
It's,
stuff in the air stuff in the air needs to be fixed, stuff in the water doesn't need to be fixed. Stuff in the air is easy to work with, stuff in the water costs a lot. Literally, like.
I can try and send you to, so that was, we paid somebody to come in and do a study on the bridge, then it was another phase to have a
But how much
cost
it, which is
estimator
so weird that those two
to
separate
read
things.
that and
I just-
interpret it. So I will try and find that report, the cost estimate.
We got it last year.
I know I have. it
Yeah.
somewhere, the breakdown of how they took that information and just found out how much it would cost. 'Cause that might be helpful as far as figuring out like where that, how it was broken down and what parts actually. I'll try and find that.
Well, again, I work at CVS Health as a capacity planner. If everyone is in agreement that this is $1 million to fix it, so
The good thing about
or
that
long term, I'm
is-
hoping that it's not $1 million fix
Right.
in 5 years from.
the cost estimate that was done for this was done by a company that DPW uses for other bridge repairs, so it's one that we're familiar with. It's done work for us before.
So I guess, so now officially the final applications, we go down.
What I will do too is for next week, when we actually, when you guys are actually making the official votes on
Yep.
what projects, I will update this with the projects from Liz and that change in amount. So
Yep.
you'll have a clean sheet for.
Yeah, so look at it real quick, the historical signs, 9,620 stays. Island Grove Pavilion, 50,000 stays. Affordable Housing Trust, 30,000 for now stays on this sheet. I'd say 300,000, thank you. Housing Trust Action Plan, 20,000. Griffin's Dairy, 20,100. Open Space Plan has been updated, 38,500. Street Hockey Court has been removed. And we now have this Green Wave Connector Trail design, 25,000. And then the Memorial Bridge, 70,000 for bridge design. So those are the updates that we have for tonight. The final vote on those is next week.
Yes, so
So we've voted on eligibility for all of these and final application. Does anyone have any discussion on any of these?
Was there anything put in for the town historical like inventory or register?
I believe that was part of the. No, it's not on here. So
Was
there's,
there a question about that?
yes, but
Yeah.
it was
Okay.
resolved in
It
the
was,
last
okay.
meeting, so I'm sorry, yes, that was also on here, that would be for, I believe that was for 20,000. And that was for the match, I don't know if you remember the last.
That's the one we were like, what is the,
Yes,
is the match, do you need it, do you not? What is
What's the-
timeline?
What's the project name?
so that was for the historical inventory. And they, don't correct me if I'm wrong, but they're applying for a grant, asking this money to go to as a match for that.
They need this money to apply for it. Yeah, okay. Yes, we did have quite a bit of discussion last time about that. It was, yeah, sorry.
How much was it, 20?
That's what
Yeah.
we talked about.
Yeah. We couldn't answer because you weren't here,
It was a no last week.
but now you're here, so.
Yeah. There we go. Good idea.
Okay, great. Anything else?
Just
About,
going through these, make sure there's
Yep.
something we didn't miss that we forgot about.
I like to see, the only thing was the baseball, which we knew there was a question if they were gonna come back or not.
Yeah, so just as a reminder, the baseball went through and then the fire engine went through.
And street hockey.
Yes.
Never
The
really
street
had it all
drug is
together.
withdrawn, yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah, I see your grant, 50% match, needs some money to be able to apply to the grant. What's the update on the, yep. Great.
And what was our total amount that we had to spend?
So.
I know I have it written down somewhere. if we had it
Anticipated,
easily.
1,012,251.
And that is with not counting the,
Anticipated.
or that's not counting the projects that could potentially, the funds that could come back to us in the new fiscal year that are closed out. Which would, if all those projects were closed out, that seemed to be complete, that would be another 106,000.
There it is.
So we approve all of this.
Well, it also depends on the buckets as well, right? Like there's certain,
Yes, so, that's another thing I'll bring to the next meeting too, is not only just the total amount, but, you know, keeping in mind it has to, 10% of each of these buckets has to go into each category, which I think we will, I think, do anyway. You know, providing at least some of these projects are approved, I don't think that it will be too hard to do that this year. But I will break that down just so it's easier to see.
We are nowhere near
Most, the historical inventory was the total on that one,
20,000.
20, thank you. So I get,
286,000. No, I missed that, plus, I know, I
I
think,
got 517, 720.
That makes, this is 300 and,
Because 300, if we
Historical.
put the whole
yep,
amount.
I think I
in
did
the-
30,000 on that, but either way,
Or
we're
housing
well
trust.
under, we're less than, well under 500,000.
Or
so.
right at 500,000.
Yeah. Which also, if we're thinking for the special town meeting, if something else comes through, but we've realized there's other projects kind of that happen later, having those funds available that we can pull from the special town meeting, it's kind of nice that we have this little extra cushion for those potential projects later down the road. Kind of, you were saying other towns kind of do this too, they split it between spring and fall almost.
Yeah, so what they said from the state is technically this has to be done at a town meeting. It does not have to be done at the annual town meeting. So he said some towns think that it takes up too much time in the spring and wait and have it always at the special town meeting. It's kind of up to the community and what works best. Usually that's for larger ones. But it can be done. Any project can be approved at a town meeting.
As long as it's on a warrant for a town meeting.
Yes,
doesn't matter when it is.
yes.
Awesome.
And we've just always done it, like we've done it.
Yeah,
for some
and
reason.
he said most of them do it at an annual town meeting because, you know, you never know if you're gonna have a special town meeting. But it can be.
And it also gives us cushion depending on what is the next phase of the bridge.
Mhm.
I don't want to make the bridge wait 2-3 years because we were short $10,000.
Well, we also talked about that.
Doing the
project
bonds.
might have to be bonded, just
Yeah.
because of the amount of it.
So I'm curious how that phasing works for next year, once we figure out the design.
So that actually leads nicely into my next thing. So I did have Stuart, who is our state CPA representative, said that, you know, it's been a while since he's come in and done an introduction and kind of a lesson, if you will, on CPA matters. And of course, it changes every year anyway. So he offered to come in kind of on our off time, which is usually between the vote and town meeting. Come in and kind of just update everybody on how CPA can be spent, bonds, any major changes, anything that they see a lot of recently, anything like that. So I don't know if that's something you guys want to.
I think that'd be good.
I'd love
I
that,
think that would be
yeah,
a great
that'd be
opportunity.
great.
That's what I thought too. So he said he's pretty flexible on times. You know, if we give him a decent heads up, then he could make any date work.
Okay, as long as we make sure it's on the off week from conservation, we'll be okay.
Which I thought that's what this week was.
I feel it. So as long as, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That'd be really helpful, I think, because I think we will have some questions about the bonding and kind of what some other,
The town meeting is early this year, correct? Like earlier than usual?
April 3rd.
Yeah, that's so early, isn't it?
when it's really
Yeah, it
supposed to be.
I know, but they always end up putting it off because they're waiting for funding.
So I don't know if you want me to, do you want to aim for sometime in May then?
Yes. That was a little crazy, so yeah, I think maybe.
All right, so I think that if I'm remembering correctly, conservation's the second and fourth.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're not supposed to talk during the meeting.
You thought that was just the monitor.
Good second part. Can we go for the 16th?
That would work for me, everybody else.
Just give us 1 second.
Only it's the second anniversary, I'm just being selfish.
May 16th. I have a meeting.
You know, off the top of your head, I'm so impressed. I don't even know when my meetings are next week yet.
May 16th, it's the
Is there something that night?
third Wednesday, or
Oh.
third Tuesday of the month. I don't know if that,
What time is the meeting? Because we could always have them come in earlier.
I have council on aging at 6 that night.
Do like a 5 o'clock meeting.
Probably not. Don't on a Tuesday.
Would the 30th work better then?
Oh, wait,
30th is
just
right
like-
after Memorial Day.
Oh, that's true. I mean, it doesn't have to be in May, we could do it June, whatever works best for everyone.
May 9th.
That
That's
would
the
be
second
a-
Tuesday, so
Conservation.
That's the
conservation.
second Tuesday.
So the 9th and 23rd would be conservation. So it's you, if
We can
we're,
do second time.
are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Does May 2nd work for everyone? First Tuesday of May?
I'm not sure.
For now, does it work? Until you are more certain?
And then along the same lines, the dates for, how we are supposed to be meeting with the selectmen and FinCom. And that's more of just to tell them, what is going on, inform them of the projects. And those dates.
Close, but if March 7th we're meeting,
Yes, so Scott said, how about if we can do the 13th for selectmen, March 13th, and then either the 8th or 15th for FinCom. And usually that's something that just whoever is available comes and.
I mean, I'd be open to the 13th and 15th, so it's just all in the same week.
Okay.
Just keep it all. So the 13th, it would be like board of selectmen meeting,
Yes.
so it's 6:30. It's a Monday.
Monday, they always meet on Monday.
I just know it's 6:30 start
Mhm.
versus us is 7,
Yes.
so that's also just a change.
And then FinCom, I believe, are they at 6:32? Do you happen to know? Thank you.
So
So 6:30
Wednesday, the
for both.
15th at 6:30.
Yes, I was on it already, so I'll make that one.
On the 15th is FinCom.
Yes.
Thank you.
I want to say my autocorrect changed it to fun on.
Yeah.
So
Just let them know.
it's fun on the button. Okay, great.
And you said they're 6:30 as well?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else about the fiscal year 24 projects? Next would be approval of minutes from our Tuesday, January 31st meeting. I'll let everyone review these real quick before we vote to approve.
I had it. Look.
Because I'm encroaching.
On the housing trust, just, you were gonna reach out and find out information on that. Is that something that representative on May 2nd could fill us in on that?
Yes, and I actually am going to be talking to Stuart about that too before Tuesday. So I will have more information then, and I will also see if Ken wants to. Well, I'll invite out everybody to that meeting as well, but I will have him as well.
I'd like to vote forward to approve the minutes from Tuesday, January 31st, 2023. Anyone who approves, say aye.
Do you have to do a motion or doesn't matter?
Or motion to
Oh,
approve.
motion to approve.
Yep. Motion to approve, yep. Everyone in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Abstain?
I abstain.
Next, open discussion. So I guess that's where you said the housing trust, you're gonna figure out exactly how they bucketed everything, basically, or what that meant.
So I did have a conversation with Stuart about the housing. But before I discuss it too much with you guys, I just want to touch base with Ken and the housing committee and then get some more information from them. So next week I can have accurate information for everybody.
Thank you for doing that, yeah, it's helpful, because I think that'll help with our round choices as well, so. Great, anything else?
Probably the next meeting, which I guess is when,
Next
The
Tuesday.
seventh.
it's Tuesday. Email this out to us.
Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll just update it and then email it to everybody, and then you can look it over beforehand.
Yeah, and also, could you just put the dates of the next, we just mentioned the town meeting, a Stewart meeting, a March, one March meeting.
Yes.
I'll make a calendar for you.
I don't have it jotted down here, but I'll put this in the
I'll send
bag
you
and
a
I'll look
reminder.
at it.
Yeah.
I'll be like, wait, what am I missing?
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Everyone approve?
All right.
Anyone oppose? Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you all.